welcome those of you that have been watching BYU's win. This is Mississippi State and LSU in the SEC. Brad Nessler, Tom Blackledge, Holly Rowe at Tiger Stadium, where the Bulldogs of Mississippi State are off to a great start here in the opening minute.
Jamian Lewis with that catch. He had 7 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown against LSU last year in Starkville. Very dangerous inside receiver.
Malcolm Johnson, the tight end, again split out to the top of your screen. They're going to run it straight up the middle, and a good run it is for Josh Robinson. He's got a first down. Holly talked about Dak Prescott, and a lot of times we talk about dual threat quarterbacks, Legend. He's a triple threat, really.
Well, he actually scored 3 different ways last week against South Alabama. Caught a touchdown pass. He's done that 3 times in his career, but in the red zone, the run threat.
Straight up the middle, got to the 10, bounced off, and might have gotten a couple extra yards on extra effort.
He reminds me so much of Tim Tebow, not just, you know, because he's running the same offense. That's part of it. Dan Mullen was Tebow's coordinator and quarterback coach, as with Prescott. Runs the same way, power runner. I think he throws the ball extremely well, too.
He's going to throw it here out in the flat, and whistle stop play, flag before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players going the other way here. Todd already mentioned it. Damian Lewis had a great game a year ago. Josh Robinson's their main tailback. Jamorie Rasco come off the corner as a rusher. Quan Alexander, one of the fastest linebackers in the country. Second down and 12 after the penalty. Prescott, little slip screen to Jamian Lewis. And he got it back to the 10, actually inside to the 9.
See, Lewis is the kind of receiver that they want to get the ball in his hands as quick as possible. He's very quick. He doesn't have blazing speed, but he has excellent quickness. So in the middle of the field, he is really difficult to deal with. They've got bigger receivers on the outside to get matchups with. They want to get him the ball quick inside.
They've got all 3 receivers to Prescott's left. They can get a first down at the 2. He rolls that way and goes to the end zone. And caught. Touchdown, De'Runnya Wilson.
See, that's one of those guys they want to get the matchups because of his size. De'Runnya Wilson, 6'5", 225 pounds, working against Dwayne Thomas, who's 6 foot. Throw it up and let him use his big body to shield the defender and secure the catch. They got Lewis inside the play before. They get Wilson outside for the touchdown.
Sobies with the point after. What a way to start for the visiting Bulldogs of Mississippi State. 51 yards in 6 plays. And then it was the Louisiana native, Dak Prescott, his 10th touchdown pass of the year. 7-0 Bulldogs.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. Feel the Hamptonality. And in part by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
Being honored here after that touchdown, Yelberton Abraham, Y.A. Tittle. One of the all-time great LSU players, and of course with the Giants and the 49ers, a Hall of Famer in the NFL. You know, he's seen his Tigers, though, take it on the chin on the opening drive. 7-0 Mississippi State.
Yeah, so much for that streak of scoreless quarters or possessions. The first touchdown pass allowed all season by this LSU Tiger defense.
Breaks a streak of LSU having 108 unanswered points that goes all the way back to the Wisconsin game. And that was 31 straight possessions the opponents had not scored on the Tigers. Leonard Fournette takes this one deep. He'll have to take a knee again. So it was 3 and out for LSU the first time around.
Great design. So Jamian Lewis coming inside is going to make all these guys shift, and then they're going to get a single coverage on this big receiver with a smaller defensive back. Lewis changes the defense, and then Wilson gets the matchup that Prescott wants, and he throws to the big receiver in the corner. Prescott 4 for 4, 48 yards on that opening drive.
There's his dad, Nathaniel. Watching his son throw his 10th touchdown pass of the year. Boy, he put that exactly where it had to be. Only his receiver could get it. And a fumble. Jennings picks it up and actually gets a yard, but that could have been a disaster. Making sure he didn't go very far was Chris Jones, a big defensive tackle.
One of the things that Mississippi State believes they have this year that they have not had as much in the past is depth in their defensive line. The ability to rotate some guys and get more bodies in there to stand up against this physical run game and offensive line of LSU.
In previous years, they hadn't had that kind of depth, and they seem to run out of gas because of that in the later stages of the game. 2nd down and 9. Jennings in the gun. Play action. And gets away somehow and got it to Hilliard. And Hilliard out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Is going to be short of the 1st down, but Jennings made something out of nothing there. A flag on the play. Might be a holding call. Let's see.
Personal foul, chop block on the offense. Number 74 and number 70. Half the distance to the goal. Still 2nd down.
Big Vidal Alexander, who we spent some time with yesterday with a chop block call.
Yeah, watch the right side of your screen. He actually slid down. I mean, there were 2 guys engaged. They were both high, and one guy slid down. That's close.
It was.
Because there wasn't a high-low contact from the very beginning. The guard slid down a little bit, but that was not what you normally see with the chop block call.
With the penalty, it backs it up to 2nd down and 22 at the 13-yard line.
This is where, if you're Anthony Jennings right here, you're thinking, get a little bit of this yardage back. Give ourselves a chance on 3rd down. Might even see a screen. LSU loves to run screens with their backs.
Hilliard and McGee are both in there. They're going to throw a screen to the wideout, actually. Trey Quinn, the freshman, and he almost lost the ball. Smothered by Matt Wells first, and then he got help from his friends.
Mississippi State doing a good job of reading, covering right now. I thought it was really interesting. I've never seen a team go through a complete pregame warm-up without shoulder pads on. It was something they started early in the year. Their first game, it was raining, and so they didn't want the pads all wet, and the players loved it. And they are playing very physical, even though they warmed up differently than you would expect.
Just a 3-man rush on Jennings on 3rd and long. Flares it out, Terrence McGee. And the Bulldogs are there to meet him. Matt Wells again, outside linebacker, along with Bernardrick McKinney. Those 2 combined on the stop.
See, if you look at the score from last year, you think, wow, LSU blew them out 59-26 in Starkville. But that game was 28-23 at halftime. It was 31-26 LSU at the end of 3 quarters. And then LSU scored 28 unanswered points in the 4th quarter to blow them out. But Mississippi State has typically played LSU pretty tough.
Graham back deep, waiting on Keene's punt. This one way up high and deep. What a kick. Fair catch over by the 22-yard line. That was a nice punt by Keene. Not as good a field position for the Bulldogs on this offensive set that's coming up right after this timeout. They lead by 7. Todd, you can't start any better than Dak Prescott has.
No, and they started with a good little safe pass. He was 4 for 4 on the drive. Now remember, coming into the game, quarterbacks against LSU had only completed 40% of their passes, 0 touchdown passes, and Dak Prescott could not have asked for a better start. And of course, the payoff, a beautiful throw to his big receiver, De'Runnya Wilson, to get Mississippi State on the board first. Now, he started against LSU last year in Starkville. He was 9 of 20 for 106 yards, but he also ran for 100 yards. So very excited with the start he has so far.
And he's got 10 touchdown passes with that one a moment ago, and you saw LSU hadn't given one up. He comes up throwing again, and too far, intended for Fred Brown. So that's his first incompletion. We got 2nd down and 10. Bulldogs go without a huddle from the 22-yard line. Josh Robinson flanking Prescott in the shotgun. For the most part, the center is calling the cadence tonight, not the quarterback. We'll talk more about that as we go. Here's Robinson. Nice counter and a nice run. I mean, a really nice run. Picked up about 14.
Well, again, you see all three guys who are from Louisiana handle the ball. Dylan Day, the center, to the quarterback, to Josh Robinson. Three Louisiana natives, good execution, a nice check from the sideline on that run play, and a new set of downs for the Bulldogs.
Empty backfield now with 5 receivers for Prescott on a first down at the 36. Plenty of time deep on the sideline and too far in front of Fred Brown again as we check in with Holly.
Well, guys, this is the largest crowd expected in Tiger Stadium history. I've got the decibel meter out. It's been about 105 at times down here. So Mississippi State prepared for this noise. Dak Prescott claps his hands, and then he just waits. He's ready. Then it's up to Dylan Day. When he feels like he's made all the checks and ready, he snaps the ball. They're trying to go without too much communication.
A little bit different than a lot of teams. There you see, they're looking to the sideline. Dylan Day, one of the captains on the offense, running the show up front. And when Prescott claps his hands, he's ready for it. Trying to throw it down the middle, batted in the air. And did Prescott catch it himself?
I don't think he threw it. I think he just pulled it back down, didn't he?
Maybe. I thought he let go of it. I guess not.
He went to load up and throw, didn't like what he saw, and pulled it back down, and then got swallowed up. Nice job by Hunter staying with the play and getting the sack.
Well, here's something the Bulldogs haven't been in so far in this first quarter. Third down and long. Now you'll hear the LSU faithful.
LSU's defense with 4 interceptions on the season. Got to be careful with the ball here if you're Prescott.
All 3 receivers to the right. And he's in trouble again, and down he goes again. This time, Dwayne Thomas from the secondary. Back-to-back sacks for the Tigers.
That's excellent effort by Dwayne Thomas because he's rushing against that lineman. I mean, he's coming in against bigger bodies, and he just fights through the block of, actually it was the tight end, Malcolm Johnson, fights through it and gets to the quarterback.
He went through Johnson and Josh Robinson, I think. Bell now to punt. Tre'Davious White is back for LSU near the 30-yard line. And White has to take a fair catch at around the 36-yard line. So LSU will have it back on offense when we return. They trail by 7. Bully just chilling on the sideline. I like how he and Uga have air conditioning. Nobody else in the stadium ever does. 7-0. Get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN tomorrow, 10 a.m. Presented by Snickers. Chris Berman and the gang with all the updates around the league. And before you set your lineup, you catch fantasy football now at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Our experts give you all the latest injury reports and predict the top fantasy performers. Back to reality here at Tiger Stadium, where LSU trails by 7, but they've got good field position this time at their own 36. And
I would expect them early in this possession to try to get the ball to Traven Durrell, the wide receiver. They're big play guys at the bottom of the screen in this formation.
Here's play action, and Jennings flushed out of the pocket. He's going to have to keep it, get what he can down the sideline. Gets upended in front of the Bulldog bench by Ryan Brown. Only about a 2-yard pickup.
They were looking for Durrell. There was a double post, and they did a good job of covering it with the safety and took it away from him. It was a maximum protection. They released the tight end and the 2 wideouts. Good pressure that time by Preston Smith is the one that forced Anthony Jennings to get out of the pocket.
Durrell is averaging 31 yards a catch, including 4 touchdowns. So he's their long ball guy, as Todd said. 2nd down and 8. They fake the sweep to McGee, and it's Jennings on a run all the way. And he's going to get the first down by putting his head down. Tolando Cleveland made the stop, but not before they moved the sticks.
Yeah, they took advantage of Ryan Brown, the defensive end, rushed up the field really aggressively in a pass rush, and that opened up a big lane for Anthony Jennings inside.
So after back-to-back 3 and outs in their first 2 possessions, there's the first down for the Tigers at their own 47-yard line. Quick toss, and an option by McGee, wide open man. Malachi Dupree inside the 10-yard line. Terrence McGee was a high school quarterback, and he just showed it there.
I like the quick snap, too. It really caught Mississippi State off guard. They called the right play. They called the trick play. And they also got it to him quick on a quick snap. The defense reacted, thinking run all the way. Really nice play call by Cam Cameron at the right time with the right snap count as well.
44-yard pickup, and it's 1st and goal at the 9 for the Tigers. McGee, this time on the ground, gets it down around the 7.
You mentioned Terrence McGee was a high school quarterback. The tailback on that team was Josh Robinson, who plays for Mississippi State, won the first ever state title for their high school team when they were seniors in 2010.
In Franklinton, Louisiana. So 2nd down and goal at the 7. Neighbors, the fullback, in there in front of McGee. Going to be a quick throw, fade to the corner. Not quite Durrell, but a flag goes down. That'll give it a 1st down to the Tigers. It was Will Redmond over there covering. Hubert Owens, our referee.
Defense number 2. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball is placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
So 1st and goal at the 2.
This is well thrown by Anthony Jennings. Put it over to the outside arm and let your guy go to it. A little bit of contact, enough of a push to draw the flag. Pretty close. Now you've got 2 freshman backs in the game for LSU. Both freshmen. Darrell Williams is the fullback. Fournette is the tailback.
And it's the first man through, and he only got to the 1. That was Williams. So it'll be 2nd down and goal.
See, now you see big number 70 hitting his chest. He's saying, run behind me. And I think that's a pretty good idea. He is one of the most devastating run blockers in college football. Lyle Collins, number 70. I would expect this play, whoever runs it, to be running right over the inside leg of that left tackle.
They've got about every tight end they can load up, plus the fullback Neighbors. The power side looks to be to the right, but now they shift it back the way Todd's talking. From the 2-yard line, 2nd down and goal. The toss straight ahead. They did go left, but they only got to the 1 with Fournette.
Nice job by Mississippi State. A lot of shift and motion by LSU to get extra bodies there, and Mississippi State did not get outmanned. Collins got a nice double team. They got the push there, but excellent pursuit coming from the backside linebackers by Mississippi State.
See if they can come up with a goal line stand. There's their red zone defense. But right now, LSU's only 3 feet away from the end zone. 3rd down and goal. Kenny Hilliard.
Play clock's down inside of 5.
Hilliard comes in as a fullback. He's going to take it straight ahead, and they do come up with a goal line stand.
Wow.
Nice job by the Mississippi State defense of Jeff Collins.
This is all about leverage. You know, the guy that did a great job in there is, take a look at the submarine move right by the center. Just goes right down to the ground. Number 92, Caleb Eulis, does a great job of getting underneath the blocks, and that just stopped everything up in the hole and allowed other guys to make the tackle.
And Les Miles says it's early in the game. Let's go. Just inside the 2, 4th and goal. The keeper by Jennings. He's going nowhere except backwards. Wow, what a job by the Bulldog defense. Goal line stand for Dan Mullen's group with 2:06 remaining in the 1st quarter. And LSU unable to even this game at 7. They had 1st and goal at the 2. They ended up at about the 3.
ESPN College Football Primetime is brought to you by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels. And Dish. Watch all your live sports wherever you are. No extra charge with Dish. Hopper hooks you up.
Part of the old crossbar from the old goalposts here at Tiger Stadium. They touch them every time they take the field. They came up short and they had the ball first and goal at the 2, but now they do have Dak Prescott in his own end zone to take the snap. Nick Griffin is there with him, and it's Prescott with a run all the way, and he only got about a half yard. Prescott, 230-pounder, came into the game with 273 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns this year through 3 games. Second down and 8. I didn't think he got that much, but we'll call it second down and 8 anyway. Now he drops back to throw from his own end zone and got it complete. Out to De'Runnya Wilson again.
Same situation. De'Runnya Wilson is just such a big target. You throw the ball out there and let him use his body. He was a basketball player most of his career. This is just boxing a guy out and going for the football. Excellent job of giving a big receiver a chance against a smaller defender.
Pick up a 26. Now they go back to Robinson. Robinson into the secondary and across midfield.
Wow, back-to-back huge plays from Mississippi State. At first they're thinking, let's just get the ball out away from our goal line a little bit. Now all of a sudden they're out close to midfield. Some missed tackles, and all of a sudden Mississippi State with something going here.
At the 47-yard line of LSU, leading by a touchdown with a minute to go. First quarter. Prescott wants more. He's got all day. Deep middle. Got it to Wilson again. Inside the 5. First and goal, Mississippi State.
Well, you mentioned it. The key to that was the protection. I mean, you can't cover guys that long. This is great protection. Watch how much time Prescott has because of the front. He's got all day to read the coverage and pick out the guy that he wants. And again, the big target, De'Runnya Wilson.
First and goal at the 3. Straight ahead is Robinson. He walks in. Touchdown, Mississippi State. They go 26, 23, 44, and then 3 yards for the touchdown. A stunned crowd here in Baton Rouge. Bring tears to a father's eyes watching what his kid's doing right now. Carving up one of the best defenses in the country. 45 seconds to go in the quarter. This time on the ground. Josh Robinson, the junior out of Franklin, Louisiana, in for the touchdown. 14-0. Todd, Mississippi State's not playing around.
They're not. Couple big passes by Prescott and then a couple tough runs. Watch the center, Dylan Day, and the guard, Beckwith. They got the key blocks on this. They just paved the way for Josh Robinson to get into the end zone. They're being more physical than this LSU defense right now in the early part of the ball game. They're mixing pass and run beautifully, and right now they have this LSU defense back on their heels a little bit.
That Louisiana connection that Holly talked about, big on that play on the touchdown. And a shocked crowd here has seen the number 8 team in the country down 2 touchdowns. Devin Bell to kick.
The only good news for LSU fans is they saw their team go down 24-7 to Wisconsin in the opener.
Good point. They'd like to return a kick, but Bell's not letting them. All the way to the back of the end zone. Adnan Burke's in the studio. What do you got, Adam?
Well, Brad, Indiana pulls off the upset over Missouri with our Taco Bell studio update. D'Angelo Roberts, the touchdown. First win versus a ranked opponent for Indiana since 2006. They had lost 18 straight games, so a tough loss from Matty Mock and company. And the first time East Carolina has scored 70 points since 1959 when Billy Cannon from LSU won the Heisman. They beat North Carolina 70-41. Brad, back to you.
Wow, that's right. Missouri from the SEC. The Big Ten had a pretty good day so far, haven't they? After getting beat up on in the first and second week of the season, they've responded today pretty well. Big whip for Kevin Wilson. Tough loss for Mizzou. LSU now again at the 25-yard line. First down. They're going with an end around. Trayvon Durrell, he's going nowhere. So great pursuit.
Yeah, and here's the issue right now for LSU. They've run the ball on everybody. That's been their bread and butter. Well, before that play, only 22 yards and 11 carries, and this is the second trick play they've had to try to go to get something going offensively against this Mississippi State defense. The first one worked. That one did not.
Todd, they got 15 plays. They have 48 total yards, and 44 of that came on one play. They've got 14 plays other than that long one that have accounted for all of 4 yards. Jennings flanked by McGee and Fournette. And the quarter's going to come to a close. They can try to regroup. Dak Prescott on the sideline for Mississippi State saying it's exactly the way we planned it. Played 15 minutes at Tiger Stadium in front of the biggest crowd ever and be up 14-0 on the road. Wow. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. As we start the second quarter, Brad Nessler, Tom Blackledge, and Holly Rowe, and our ESPN crew. And this is the quietest 102,300 people that have ever been in this building.
Yeah. Well,
domination by the Bulldogs.
It's going exactly to script if you're Dan Mullen and his coaching staff. Offensively, very sharp, good blend. Jeff Collins' defense, they're playing great against the run. They had the goal line stand, and they're able to rotate defensive linemen and keep fresh bodies on the field.
Here's a toss on second down and 15, and Fournette into the secondary, and the freshman loses his helmet at the 40, but he picks up 20 yards on that one.
Outside of the trick play, the best play we've seen from LSU. Watch the block by the fullback, Connor Neighbors, number 43. They also have a tight end in there, Dylan Gordon, number 85, who really is like a tackle. He's 300 pounds. Number 85 gets his block, Neighbors gets his block, and Fournette shows you that breakaway ability with a big run.
And, of course, he's got to come out for a play, having lost his lid. It'll be McGee now for only about a yard. Terrence McGee and that stable of backs, Kenny Hilliard, Terrence McGee, Leonard Fournette, Darrell Williams, a couple of freshmen, and then a couple seniors, and that's a nice stable to have.
It is, but this is clearly the guy. I mean, as this thing goes on, he is going to get more and more carries because not only is he big and physical, he also has that extra gear that the other guys don't have if he gets to the second level of the defense.
Pretty much the #1 recruit in the country, tailback anyway. Jennings, and that's a one-hopper to a wide-open Malachi Dupree. I don't know if that one just lost it off his hand or whatever.
See, that's one that he needs to hit. They ran the football well with Fournette. They go play action, so he's got a nice opening. The linebackers have to respect the run. There's a big hole there. He just kind of pulled the string on that one, and it dove right into the ground.
Tigers are 0 for 3 on third down. Excuse me, Todd. A guy like that probably wouldn't have missed that throw. Zach Mettenberger, now in the NFL. Haven't hit a third down, 3rd and 9 here. There's a good throw and a good catch. Malachi Dupree, kind of the same spot that he meant to throw on the second down play.
This is a great throw on time because he threw this before Dupree got out of the break. He knew he had single coverage. He throws it before Dupree is out of his break, and you see the little bit of a slip by Jamerson Love. But beautiful throw and timing that time by Anthony Jennings. So bad throw on second down, great throw on third down.
Into Mississippi State territory at the 43 with a first down. And Fournette back in at tailback in the eye, and he's going to get the toss again behind his fullback. And not a lot there. Got it to the 40 as we go back to the studio.
All right, Brad, Illinois is trailing Texas State, but Wes Lunt, the Oklahoma State transfer, to Josh Ferguson, and Ferguson will do the rest with a couple of blocks and some nifty moves. He avoids a lot of tackles. 2-point convert fail, but Texas State leads it 21-19 early in the third. Back to you, Brad.
All right, Adna, thanks. 14-0 here. LSU has got something working at least at the 40-yard line of Mississippi State. 2nd down and 7. Matt Jennings maybe changing things up. Blitz off the corner. Fournette picked that up. Jennings going down anyway. Ryan Brown got to him. First sack of the game for Mississippi State.
Well, it was a blitz, but it wasn't man-to-man defense. It was zone defense, and that's what fooled Jennings. He thought he was going to get single coverage, and actually the guy he was looking at was double covered. It was a zone blitz that fooled Anthony Jennings. Jeff Collins, defensive coordinator, good call on that play on second down.
See what he dials up on third down and 13. Jennings going down again. Just straight pressure by Preston Smith, one of our impact players, and that's his third sack of the season.
Normally Preston Smith plays outside. This time he's lined up inside, and he just whips the center. Elliott Porter goes right under him. Porter, that's a tough ask for a center to snap the ball and then block one-on-one against one of the best defensive linemen in the league.
Oh boy, Jennings is hurt, holding his left shoulder. That'll put some pressure on a freshman named Brandon Harris if Jennings can't return. Here's Keene to punt. End over end job. Fair catch called for, and it bounces around the 15-yard line. Again, LSU quarterback may be injured. And right now the Tigers' pride is injured. They're getting pushed around by Mississippi State with 11:33 to go in the half.
ESPN College Football Primetime is brought to you by Advocare. Advocare, we build champions.
Tiger Stadium in its 91st year. Over the years, keep adding on. They win about 73% of their games here. It's now up to 102,321 capacity. Ranked 6th nationally in total capacity. I'm sure it gets a little bit steep up there in some of the top seats. And Holly, what do you think?
Well, I'm actually on the very last row in the new end zone, and I love it. I can actually see the Mississippi River from here, but still I have a great view of the crowd. I can see number 15, Dak Prescott, stretching out. I see Les Miles. Les said he was actually worried if the fans could see the field from up here, so he walked up here to see if it was okay. It is a very festive atmosphere, and I can also report that they are selling jambalaya and alligator up here. So, guys, I'll bring you some if you'd like.
All right, Holly, be careful on the way down. Here's Josh Robinson into the secondary. Robinson on his way. Can he outrun everybody? They're going to track him down, but not before he gets to the 20-yard line. Wow. Another great run by Josh Robinson, 66 yards.
Again, the center, Dylan Day, and the guard, Beckwith, open up the hole, and then one missed tackle. Actually, two missed tackles. And right now, this Mississippi State offense, great balance. 9 runs, 8 passes.
I didn't think they'd give it to him again after 66 yards, but they did, and he got nothing. Deshaun Bauer made the stop.
You know, I mentioned that Dak Prescott reminds me a lot of Tim Tebow. Not just in the way he plays, runs the football, his power or his throwing, but also his spirit. He has a presence and a leadership ability and a will to win that reminds me very much of Tim Tebow when he played at Florida. And I think that's why Mississippi State feels really good about where they're at right now in this game.
That run by Robinson, the longest play allowed by LSU this year. And here goes Dak Prescott. Broke one tackle and another, and he's inside the 10. Devon Gotcha. You know, here he was when the defense was out on the field. This gives you a little example of what Todd's talking about.
It's the end of the first quarter, and you can't fake this stuff. I mean, if it's real, it's real. And with him, I've seen him enough and watched him interact with his teammates enough. That's who he is. He has a presence. He has a natural leadership about him. And again, that fight, that will to win is very contagious, and it's very evident with him. And I just think that I think that's why Mississippi State and this team and this offense is different than I've ever seen them, because of what he brings to the equation.
An emotional dad over there on the far side, and Dak's brother is here as well. And the guy down, as I mentioned, Devon Gotcha, the freshman who started a week ago, and they really love this kid, a 300-pounder. Let's see what happens on this play.
He's tied up with the center, and then just after the play. Hard to tell. Little.
Oh, well,
there it is.
Yeah.
Well, Dylan Day blocked him, and then
stepped on it.
And then stepped on it for good measure, I guess.
So hopefully just the wind knocked out of him. They helped the big guy up. He might be the next great one in the long line of defensive linemen that have come through here on their way to the NFL. Meanwhile, the ball's at the 10-yard line. Nick Griffin in as an extra wide receiver to the top of your screen. An empty backfield for Prescott. 3rd down and 3.
Little surprised that De'Runnya Wilson not in the game. He's been the real matchup problem for LSU, and on this 3rd down play, not even part of this formation or play.
Prescott trying to let his offensive lineman know what he wants, and on the option, he'll pitch to Lewis. Jamion Lewis isn't going to get anywhere. Back to the line of scrimmage, and a nice stop by John Chavis, LSU defense.
Yeah, really an important stop for LSU. They didn't get out leveraged on that option play. Did a great job of keeping Lewis to the inside and not letting him turn the corner. Ronald Martin did a nice job of maintaining leverage on the outside of that play.
Dan Mullen has not been overly excited by his field goal units this year. This is Evan Sobiesk to try a 27-yard field goal. Yeah, nothing wrong with that one. A 17-0 advantage for visiting Mississippi State. Maybe a shocker happening here tonight in Baton Rouge.
A chunk play with one of their talented young wide receivers.
Durrell is up to the top of your screen. He's looking over to the sideline looking for the call. Again, he's their big play guy way up on top. 3 wide receivers out there right now, and Fournette empties the backfield. So it's Jennings by himself on 1st down. Now Fournette comes. They fake the sweep. Jennings goes straight up the middle, and he gets to the 35.
See, they tackled Fournette. I mean, you know, he was a decoy on that play, but they weren't going to let him get to the outside. Again, he's got that speed. Pretty well-designed play that time by LSU. Show Fournette, let the quarterback keep, and get a positive gain on 1st down.
A good gain of 6, giving you a 2nd down at 4. Now they go back to the I set with Fournette, the tailback. Mississippi State has lost 14 straight to LSU. As we check our Aflac trivia question tonight, who's the only quarterback to have gone 4-0 against LSU? I got this one wrong. Give me the answer in a little bit.
I think it is up to the LSU defense now to get their team back in the ballgame. The last time they had Mississippi State pinned down deep inside the 5-yard line, they couldn't keep them there. It ended up being a 98-yard touchdown drive on just a handful of plays. They've got to get a stop on this possession.
And immediately the throw's complete, and a positive gain out across the 10 to the 11 for Jamion Lewis, and he is shifty. Pickup of 7.
LSU's offense having difficulty sustaining drives, and so the defense has to help them by trying to get them a short field here. It's very important for them to get a 3-and-out on this possession.
And it's a good thing they have depth on their defense. Here's Prescott, broken tackle, got a 1st down at the 15. So much for being deep in your own territory.
And see, again, that's the will that I talk about with Dak Prescott. He knows what they need for 1st down. He also knows how important it is to get a 1st down on this possession. And so he's going to take some extra hits in order to secure that 1st down.
Brandon Holloway joins him in the backfield for the first time tonight. 1st down at the 15.
Holloway's the speed guy for them.
He gets the handle, but speed won't help him there when he's got Lockett all over him from the defensive tackle spot. No gain. Dak Prescott throwing the football tonight, 7 out of 9, including a touchdown toss, his 10th of the year. High snap. He rides it to Robinson, keeps it himself, and takes it across the 20, where it'll bring up 3rd down. And we're down to 5:20 remaining now in the half.
Again, huge 3rd down play for LSU's defense. You know, John Chavis likes to bring pressure. He likes to play a lot of man-to-man. The problem with that is when you play man-to-man, you turn your back to the quarterback, and a guy like Dak Prescott can make you pay for that.
Third down at 4. Snaps a little high, and
left tackle move.
Clausell with a false start.
Before the snap, false start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
It's the second pre-snap penalty on the Bulldogs. Been a relatively penalty-free night.
That's a big one, though, because the difference between 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 9 in this part of the field is substantial. Dan Mullen knows he's got the game right where he wants it, but he needs to be careful here.
He said Dak Prescott has to not self-pressure himself. He's got a little bit of pressure right here. 3rd down and 9. He'll keep it and go down for a loss.
Yeah. See, they would have been much more aggressive with the play call on 3rd and 4. 3rd and 9, 17-point lead deep in your own territory. That changed the game for Dan Mullen, and a good stop for LSU.
Tre'Davious White will go back and trots around his 35-yard line awaiting Bell's punt. Bell right about on his own goal line to punt. LSU will have a full complement of timeouts and about 4 minutes or so to work with. Bell's kick. Fair catch taken by White at the 41-yard line. So good field position. Let's see if LSU can do anything with it. They still got a goose egg on the board with just under 4 to go in the half. Did a few of his games when he played a little bit of college basketball here. That was a couple of pounds ago. Shakalicious Shaquille O'Neal in the house, 17-0. Earlier we asked you tonight's Aflac trivia question. Who's the only quarterback to have a 4-0 record against LSU? We gave you some time. How about John Bond? 80-83, went 4-0. Not only that, he did it looking good, man. Wow. Check out the hair. John's in the construction business now, one of the heroes of Mississippi State back in the day.
Got the little almost Peter Frampton-ish.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You never had it quite that long, did you?
No, almost.
Almost. LSU from the 42 with just under 4 minutes to play and all their timeouts. Toss to Fournette. And Mississippi State stands him up after a gain of a couple.
I think the key to the game has clearly been the defensive front of Mississippi State. Remember the goal line stand? Right. They stopped them there, and they have done a great job defending the run. They've rotated bodies in, they've kept fresh legs in, and they have been more than up for the challenge against this LSU power running game in the first half.
Under 3.5. And a 2nd down and 7. Jennings, play action. Fires a slant, nice throw and catch. Traven Durrell, that's his biggest pass play of the night, a pickup of 16.
See, 7-man protection to give your quarterback time. You release 3 into the route, and he picks the right guy. In between 3 defenders, he had to stick that ball in the right place. Nice throw by Jennings.
Back to the ground, and again, a gain of a couple for the freshman Fournette. And we're going to work our way under 3 minutes here.
Almost essential that LSU get some form of points on this drive. Mississippi State won the coin toss, deferred. They will get the ball to start the second half.
We mentioned Dan Mullen in his 6th year has 39 wins, 3rd winningest coach in Mississippi State history. At halftime, if he's ahead, he's 33-1. Jennings fires, got Durrell again, made one man miss, and keeps on his feet down to the 15, first down.
You know, it's almost a good thing Anthony Jennings did not know the corner blitz was coming. He came from his blind side. He had no idea that the blitz was coming, but it didn't affect his throw. He got rid of it in time. Again, he threw it on time before his receiver was out of the break, and because of that, they got the big conversion.
And a pickup of 22 down to the 15-yard line. So an opportunity to get some points here before halftime. Bootleg. Jennings lofts it to the corner, too far in front of his tight end. Now, Dylan Gordon.
And he's got to throw to the underneath guy. I mean, he forced that one to Gordon, and he had another guy open. He had Melvin Jones, number 49, wide open right in front of him. That's one where he just has to take what the defense gives him there and get a positive gain on that first down. He got greedy and went for a touchdown, and he could have had a 7 or 8 yard gain.
Still learning on the job. 4-0 as a starter. And the clock stopped with 2:14 remaining. 2nd and 10 at the Bulldog 15. Empty backfield.
quarterback draw possibly here.
Hilliard in motion. He's going to take it. Had to adjust his helmet a little bit and only got a couple.
This first down is such a critical down for LSU's offense, the way they're playing offense right now. They need to stay ahead of schedule, and they missed an opportunity on that first down bootleg play to get a positive gain. Now they're in a tough situation. 3rd and 8 inside the 15-yard line. The Mississippi State defense doesn't have to guard depth. They're going to guard the end zone and try to force the action here.
They've only got one 3rd down conversion tonight. This is a big one. 3rd down and 8. They can get a first down at the 5. Here comes a blitz. Jennings lofts it, incomplete over everybody, and he took a shot again from Deontay Evans this time.
0 coverage. That means no free safety help. It's one-on-one. Looked like a little mix-up with Durrell that time. Durrell kind of gave up on the route. Jennings had to get rid of the football because of Evans coming to the quarterback.
And Colby Delahousie will come out to try a field goal. He's only missed one in his career. This will be a 30-yard attempt to get something on the board for LSU. Didn't want to go to the locker room with a 0 up there. Kick high over the right upright. I think he just got it, barely. Doesn't get much closer than that one. But he did put 3 on the board for the Tigers with 1:20 remaining first half. Well, a field goal on the board for LSU, 30 yards, capped a 45-yard march in 8 plays. It wasn't what they wanted, Ledge, but yeah, they needed something.
They had to. They had to get points. Remember, they had the goal line stand against them where they were denied points. Had to get something positive out of that drive, and they did. Defense got them the football. They got 3 points out of it. They got to feel like they're at least on their way back in this football game.
Kickoff coming up. Damian Lewis and Robert Johnson are back deep. Neither will have a chance at this one as he knocks it almost into the crowd as we go back to the studio.
All right, Brad, coming up on the Buick halftime report, myself, Mark May, Lou Holtz will break down Florida State in the spotlight. Sean McGuire, the starters, Jameis Winston offering his tutelage from the sidelines, plus Roll Tide. Simmons and Cooper were huge for Alabama as they roll over the Gators, and the Big Ten quoting Mark Twain. The rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. The conference comes back for one day at least. We'll see you at the half, Brad.
All right, fellas, we'll see you in 1:20 seconds. There's the numbers for Dak Prescott throwing the football tonight. I would think they'd be conservative here in their approach, but we'll wait and see. Nice move. Well, they might not be after that. Gabe Miles, nice catch and run, picked up 16 yards. That might change their approach a little bit here.
Well, typically you want to try to get that first down. That kind of determines how aggressive you are. Again, throw this kind of screen. If you make one guy miss, it turns into a big game. Now you have the opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive, especially with 3 timeouts left.
LSU brings a blitz off the corner. Prescott keeps it himself, and no gain on the play. Jamarie Rasco in on the stop from his defensive end spot. Dan Mullen, we talked about the problems he's had against top 25 teams. We still got 2 quarters to go, but this one would be huge in the win column. Prescott, and he lofts one out with 2 hands, almost intercepted. And Tre'Davious White might have taken that the distance had he held onto it.
Oh boy, as good as Dak Prescott has played this first half, that would have been a critical mistake. Take the sack. The defense won here. Don't do that.
A little bit too much Brett Favre in that one. He got away with it. It was all wrapped up by Lockett. Now on a quarterback keeper on the draw. Doesn't get much.
Yeah, I can guarantee you Dan Mullen wasn't going to throw on that one. No. After what he saw on 2nd down, he was not going to throw on that 3rd down play.
Now you just want to punt this baby about as far as you can.
Because remember, Mississippi State is getting the ball to start the third quarter. So, I mean, they've got everything going right the way they want. And Dak Prescott almost made a critical error on that second down play.
Dak looking up at the Jumbotron. Coming up on Monday night, Geno Smith leading the offense. The Jets defense has been great. And it'll be tested by Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall and the Bears coming off an impressive road win at San Francisco last Sunday. Monday Night Football, Bears and Jets on ESPN, and watch ESPN. There's some numbers on Cutler and Geno.
Both of their alma maters involved in big games tonight. Geno Smith, West Virginia team, hosting Oklahoma.
And Vandy was up 2 scores from what we saw on South Carolina.
Beating South Carolina. Sounds like Derek Mason, you know, they got off to such a rough start there in his first year in Nashville, but have started to turn the corner a little bit.
So 37 seconds remaining as Bell comes out to kick away. Tre'Davious White back deep. See if they put any heat on the punter. No problem. Again, he hits it a mile in the air, and White's got to call for a fair catch around the 18-19-yard line. Let's take a look at this week's AP Top 10 rankings, brought to you by Capital One. Florida State and Clemson no score in that one right now. Oregon at Washington State. High-powered offense for Washington State, but an Oregon team that's looked excellent. Alabama, a winner over Florida earlier this afternoon. Oklahoma's trailing West Virginia, and you see the SEC West with 5 teams in the top 10.
I wonder if we're done talking about who the starting quarterback at Alabama is.
It sure looked like it after today, didn't it?
Sims did today.
Wow. Man, he was great.
Wow. Helps to have a guy like Amari Cooper.
That doesn't hurt. I don't know what his final numbers were. The guys at halftime will tell you, but he had to have over 200 yards receiving, I think, from what we saw. Here's a toss, and a nice job by Beniquez Brown from his outside linebacker position. Makes a stop on Fournette. And Les Miles, that might be the last snap we see from his team. Go to the locker room and regroup a little bit.
You have to play it that way. I mean, the fans seem a little disgruntled, but you have to play it that way if you're Les Miles. Your offense has been sporadic tonight. You've got 3 points, you got stuffed on the goal line, and you got to go into the locker room and try to figure out what you can do to get some rhythm in your offense.
This is the 30-second timeout.
LSU takes a timeout. That's kind of odd if you're just going to let the clock wind down, unless the play clock was also down near the end before they took the timeout. So anyway, 3 seconds remaining. We'll have one more play barring a defensive penalty. And we got a 2nd down and 9 as we're just about set to go to halftime. And you know, you and I and Holly and the rest of the gang have been talking all week. We've seen Mississippi State in this situation before. They get in a big game, they play great for a half, and then things kind of fall apart. This looks like a different team right now, though.
It really does. I mean, and again, outside of that one mistake that Dak Prescott made on that 2nd down play, he has played a great game offensively, really nice balance. And I think the key to the game has been how physical they've been on defense defending the LSU run game. I mean, that defensive front 7 has controlled action on that side of the game. And Dak Prescott and the balance of Mississippi State's offense has done it on the other side.
So after the timeout with 3 seconds remaining, Jennings going to throw a screen pass to Terrence McGee. He's got a convoy in front of him, but he won't have enough room to get anything other than a 1st down to end the half. Dak Prescott, the Louisiana native, his hometown about 3 hours from here. He's had a great first half as we check in with Holly.
Well, Coach, this LSU defense hadn't allowed a score in 31 possessions. What allowed you to come down the field on that first drive and look so comfortable?
Well, you know, I mean, we have some experienced guy in this situation. We felt comfortable. Our guys set it up. We told them, go make plays. If plays are there, go make them. They did, and but we got a lot of of football left to play in the second half.
I was going to ask you, LSU has a reputation. They've come back 22 times under Les Miles in the fourth quarter. He loves the trick plays. We've seen one tonight. What do you have to be mindful of in the second half?
We got to be mindful of just playing the 60 minutes of football right now. That's an excellent football team. They've already come back against the top team in Wisconsin earlier this year. But we came here to play 60 minutes of football. We need to really pick it up on a whole nother level here in the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you all.
Tell you what, that first 30 ain't bad, Coach. Dan Mullen's only lost one time, leading at halftime. They've got the halftime lead of 17-3 as we send it back to the studio and the Buick halftime report. Fellas. The Bulldogs, the Tigers in a dog and cat fight. Prescott rolls that way and goes to the end zone. And caught. Touchdown, Derunya Wilson. What a way to start. Just inside the 2, 4th and goal. The keeper by Jennings. He's going nowhere except backwards. Goal line stand for Dan Mullen's group. Straight ahead is Robinson. He walks in. Touchdown, Mississippi State. Maybe a shocker happening here tonight in Baton Rouge. And we welcome you back to ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. Will it be a shocker? Well, we got 2 quarters to figure it out.
With a goal line stand, and Josh Robinson, 111 yards rushing in the first half, but his best play of the entire first half, and really the best play for Mississippi State, the play he made on the mistake in judgment from Dak Prescott. Prescott's going to force this ball, and watch Robinson come back into the screen and knock it away. Otherwise, that's a touchdown for LSU, and it's 17-10 instead of 17-3. Josh Robinson carried the load running it. Huge play right there.
His best play on defense, basically, to knock that one out. And the Bulldogs will get the ball first as well to start the third quarter. Again, we mentioned going to the break. Dan Mullen, his Bulldog team's 33-1 when they lead at halftime. They've got a 2-touchdown lead heading into the third quarter. Domingue set to kick off. That's Robert Johnson. Jamion Lewis is there with him. This is an anxious crowd, a record crowd tonight, to try to see if their 8th-ranked Tigers can come from behind. The kick again is deep. Both kickers have done a nice job tonight, and we go down to Holly Rowe.
Well, I had a chance to catch up with Les Miles at the half, and he said, you know, we were able to run the football at times, but not consistently. He said, if we would have hit some of those passes, we'd be a little bit better right now. You've got to be able to mix the run and the pass so they just can't tee off in the box on the run. He also said in the back end of that first half, our defense finally came alive. More sacks, more short yardage runs that we denied. Back end of the half, that's what we need to be.
That's a Les Miles term, the back end.
Yeah.
See if his frontline defense can get a 3 and out here to open the third. Prescott on the keeper. And Dak got a couple, and the ball is out. They might do better than a 3 and out. They're going with Daniil Hunter to the end zone.
Well, Quan Alexander came in and ripped that ball out. Dak Prescott, a big physical guy trying to get extra yardage. And on the first play of the third quarter, that LSU frontline defense makes a big play. Watch Quan Alexander, number 4, come in and just try to strip the ball out. He doesn't go for the tackle. He goes for the strip. Gets the ball out. Hunter's able to scoop it up. And LSU gets right back in this football game.
Play is under review, but again, you get a look here. Ripping it out. The ball's on the ground right there.
You just wonder if John Chavis talked to his defense about this very thing. When Prescott runs, the way he likes to fight for extra yardage, if we get him held up, let's try to strip that ball out. That was a heads-up play by Quan Alexander.
Dave Kataya is up in the booth with us. Dave, it looks good, doesn't it?
Looks like it's out, especially that last shot from the end zone. Looks like it's out. There's no way they can change this.
So it's going to be a fumble return of 25 yards for the score for Daniil Hunter. The dream of every defensive lineman right there.
Wow.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
We said Mississippi State couldn't have started the game with a better first possession. LSU couldn't have started the second half with a better first possession than what just happened.
I said 3 and out would be nice, but 25 yards for 6 is better. And the 7-point upcoming from Delahousie. (17-10). 12 seconds in. Well, tomorrow night, switch to baseball. Matt Holliday and the National League Central leading Cardinals host Brandon Phillips and the Reds. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Cardinals and Reds tomorrow night, 8 Eastern on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN. And a crowd that packed in here tonight with the new stadium infrastructure added onto in the right end zone. Biggest crowd ever to watch the Tigers play. They've had nothing to cheer about. They do now.
I'm not even sure if all of them were back from getting their hot dogs yet either before that one happened.
You just barely finished your rice and beans before we came on camera. So we talked about how fortunate the Bulldogs were to get the ball first to start the third quarter. One play and one piece of disaster in.
Yeah.
They'll get it back here in a second.
But look at Dak Prescott again. This is where you check out his leadership, his presence. He admits, you could see him point at himself. That was his mistake, and he knows it. He owns it. And now he gets to go back out there and lead his offense again.
And again, Domain will tee it up. What a difference 12 seconds can make in a football game. Lewis and Johnson again are back deep. And again, Lewis will backpedal, but no chance. And they bring it out to the 25-yard line as we take a look at tonight's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate. Well, usually don't have a good hands play for a defensive lineman.
No. Quan Alexander ripped it out. He went for the scoop, didn't get it, but Hunter was able to scoop it up. And as you said, the dream of every defensive lineman, score the touchdown to put his football team right back into the thick of things.
The 6'6" junior out of Katy, Texas. And now you can tell you're in Death Valley. I think you can hear it. Prescott, play fake, rolls, and has to throw it in the ground.
Yeah, good
Intended
coverage
for Johnson.
Johnson was covered, and Prescott was under pressure from Roscoe and had to get rid of the football. Remember, that was the first play they ran, the very first possession, and Johnson was wide open. That time he was covered.
Second down at 10.
They got the matchup down here with the big receiver, one-on-one. They've thrown it up to him a couple times, and he's used that big body to shield the defender. Might see that same thing right here.
Tre'Davious White is the guy that's got him down on the bottom. They're going the other way with the option. Almost fumbled by Robinson, and he lost a yard. Quan Alexander, I mentioned earlier, great speed by the linebacker.
Well, because the pitch was a little bit behind Robinson, that enabled Alexander to catch up to it. See, the pitch was bad. Robinson had to stop, pirouette to catch it, and that enabled Alexander to get there from the backside.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what constitutes a decibel, but this would be the biggest one of the night. 3rd and 10.
Typically, when LSU is in a three-man front, it's a pressure front on 3rd down. Let's see if John Chavis chooses to go after Dak Prescott on this 3rd and 10.
Play fake, throwback screen, tough call, and a big play. Wow. That's an exceptional play to Runya Wilson. There was a lot of fakes going on back there. I'm surprised he got the pass away.
Well, there was one great block. Watch the lineman get out. Beckwith, number 66, gets the key block. A cut block right there on the safety, and that enables Wilson to get upfield for the first down. They did come with pressure. It was a great play call at the time.
And that's Rashard Robinson, a defensive back that's down at the end of the play. So on 3rd and 10, they dial up a really tough call because Dak Prescott's got to turn his back to that defense and then wheel around and have the confidence in his arm to find number 1. As they work on Rashard Robinson, hopefully he's going to be all right. We'll take a timeout and be right back. Rashard Robinson, Holly tells us, is all right. He'll return for LSU defensively at the end of the play. Dylan Day, the center, at the second guy I think Dylan stepped on tonight.
Yeah.
His dad, Mark, is listening to the game in Malaysia, working over there. He got a little bit of Conrad Dobler in him, I think, or something like that. 37-yard line, first down. And the throw's batted down. And it's Christian Lockature.
You know, the crazy thing, if you told Dylan Day, he reminded us, he'd have no idea who Conrad Dobler was.
Not a clue.
No. Age ourselves a little bit with that one.
Yeah, a little bit. On the sweep, Jamie Lewis. Not going to get the first down, though. It's a really big play upcoming for the LSU defense.
Quan Alexander's got a little extra juice here this second half. I'm sure this defense felt like they were very uncharacteristically giving up big plays in that first half, and now they're faced with another critical third down situation at 3rd and 4.
Empty backfield. Dak Prescott a run all the way, and he's got a big opening. And a stiff arm, Dak Prescott. This is what he does better than anybody in the SEC. Touchdown. Runya Wilson got the last block and 56 yards for the score.
I don't understand the alignment of LSU. The safety was way out of position. They were expecting pass all the way based on their alignment, and that was an easy run for Dak Prescott.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 6 on the offense. 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff. Correction, 15-yard penalty.
That's Malcolm Johnson, the tight end, with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
That penalty of 15 will go on the kickoff. So the extra point by Sobiesk to try to make it a 2-touchdown lead again, and he does.
3rd and 4, you got to be expecting quarterback run. But look at this alignment. You've got one safety here, and the linebacker on this side. There is a lot of green grass right in there, and the safety who's out of position is going to miss an open field tackle. But that's an easy read and run for a very dangerous runner.
Had not yet blown.
He had over 100 yards rushing against LSU last year in Starkville. It's what he does as well as anybody in the league, as you called, and they just gave him that one.
So they're re-kicking. And this one's good as well. Dak Prescott on 3rd down on that drive had a 3rd and 10. He got the pass play to Runya Wilson for 12, and then on 3rd and 3 he goes 56 yards for a touchdown.
And that looked like a designed run all the way. It didn't look like a scramble. I mean, that was a called run, and LSU's defense was completely out of position to stop that play.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, we talked to Les Miles about why they got in on Dak Prescott, recruiting him out of Houghton, Louisiana, just a little bit late. And he said, well, when we first looked at him, he kind of looked like a fullback out there that could throw a little bit. But by the time he was in his senior year, he had lost a bunch of weight. He was running around like crazy and could make every throw. I think he didn't look like a fullback on that last run, guys. More like a super great tailback,
No
though.
doubt. Well, we said coming in tonight at the top of the show, a triple threat quarterback. The only thing he hasn't done is caught one yet tonight, but he's got a touchdown pass and a long run and a 14-point lead as we check into the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Brad. Updating you on what else is happening in the world of college football, including South Carolina and Vanderbilt on the SEC network. Bryson Williams with the pick 6. Stu Spurrier thinking that's more like it. South Carolina leading it by 3 right now at the half. Back to you, Brad.
South Carolina be hosting Missouri next week, and Missouri took it on the chin from Indiana today. So South Carolina making a comeback. LSU's going to have to come back from 14 down again. Remember, 14 straight wins in this series. It goes back to 1896. LSU's won 21 of the last 22. And the folks that have come over from Starkville right now, it's a little premature to party yet, but tell you what, they're playing like a top 20 team right now. That's for sure.
And how about Dak Prescott? After the fumble, there was return for a touchdown. We saw him on the sideline saying, that was my mistake. I'll make it up for it. I'm still the leader. Comes right back out, makes a huge play. First the conversion on 3rd and 10 on the throw, then the 3rd and 3 run for a touchdown.
Bell's kickoff. This one's going to be returnable at about the 15. Fournette across the 40. And I got a flag down. 28-yard return to where he got it, but let's see if it's going to stick or not.
That's going to be a tough penalty on LSU because that's great field position that LSU would have had. It's going to back them up and give them a long field to work again.
Holding. During the return, number 43 on the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
So they don't have the field position they had hoped for. Let's take a look at how Mississippi State's defense is finding success, brought to you by Expedia.
Well, they're first finding success stopping the run. They held LSU to an average of 2.5 yards per carry. Their inside guys are plugging holes and eating up gaps, and their linebackers are flowing. Then when they get them into pass situations, they've been able to get pressure on Anthony Jennings. Again, 3rd down is not necessarily how this offense is built this year with Anthony Jennings the way it was last year with Zach Mettenberger.
Lost about 21 yards with that penalty. Some of those hidden yards that come back to haunt you. Kenny Hilliard, he went down sort of funny. That was a big hit by a big middle linebacker, Bernard Rick McKinney.
And see, this is his kind of game. 6'5", 250-pound middle linebacker. He says, you know, I don't want to play out in space on little guys. I want to play in a phone booth against big guys.
I didn't like that landing by Kenny Hilliard, but he popped up, and he will come out now. Fournette comes back in for him. Pickup of a couple. 2nd down and 8. Jennings, play action. Going to go deep, left sideline, broken up. Intended for Dupree, and Jamerson Love made the play defensively.
Good position by Jamerson Love. He knows where the football is. He reads the eyes of the receiver and then turns at the right time and is able to get 2 hands on the football. Well played by Jamerson Love. Again, the key for Mississippi State's defense this whole game has been what they've done on 1st down. They have really stopped LSU's offense on 1st down, and they put them into a lot of 3rd and 7 or more situations.
Exactly 8.4 to go on 3rd down, and they've only converted 1. Jennings going to try to convert this one with his legs, and he is not going to get there, but the ball came out at the end. Was he down? Mississippi State recovers, and the officials say he was down about a yard, maybe a yard and a half shy of the 1st down. So 4th and 1, a long one.
4th and a long one. If he's down, now I would not be shocked to see Les Miles call a fake punt here.
Me neither.
They need 1 yard. In the Wisconsin game, it was Beckwith, number 52, who is one of the upbacks, who got a 5-yard run.
He's in there in the protection shield. There's Beckwith. Yeah, they'll punt it. This one's returnable for Graham, but he calls a fair catch. He's made a couple of mistakes back there. Probably should have run that one back. But a 2-touchdown lead for Mississippi State on the road with 10:47 remaining, third quarter. And the National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper making an appearance tonight here at Tiger Stadium. Trophy's made of 24-karat gold, stainless steel, and bronze. Has 4 laces on the face to symbolize the 4 teams in a college football playoff. Real football's got 8 laces. Who knows, maybe someday we'll have 8 teams in the college football playoff. Right now, 4 is good enough for us. First down at the 23. Play action. Prescott loads and fires. Nobody home. Had several guys in the same route area.
Well, he was first looking for Derunya Wilson, who was in single coverage, and he was trying to double move. But the double move did not fool Tre'Davious White. And so then he had to come off to look to a different receiver on the other side. It was good coverage by Tre'Davious White on that play.
Dak's been great with his legs, but he's only hit 1 of his last 5 passes now. A second down and 10. Option. He'll keep it. Got hit pretty good, but picked up 2 or 3 yards. DJ Welter made first contact.
See, him running the option is not as big of a threat to this LSU defense because he's running sideways for much of the time. And you want him to run sideways because then you can get to him with your speed. Where he hurts you is when he sees a crease and runs up the middle, either by design or on a scramble.
Derunya Wilson's been his main guy in situations such as this. Third down and 7. He's in trouble. Gets out of it momentarily. Now throws. Wide open. Jamion Lewis. He might take it. Yes, he will. Another Mississippi State touchdown. 74 yards.
Well, this play was just made by the escapability of Dak Prescott. He has to leave the pocket and be able to extend the play, and by doing so, the LSU secondary lost contain on Jamion Lewis, who was wide open. Malcolm Johnson with the block late to spring him, but that play was all made by Dak Prescott being able to extend the play.
Dak Prescott again looked like he was dead in the water in the backfield. But the great feet, the poise, keeping his eyes downfield, finding a wide open Damian Lewis, and the longest play for Mississippi State this year. 74 yards. It's 31-10.
ESPN College Football Primetime is brought to you by Cadillac and Filet. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken's.
21-point lead now for Mississippi State, 31-10. That's a Tsunami Sushi restaurant. Everybody, that's kind of fast food when it goes that fast. Devin Bell's been a busy kicker. I don't know if he's expecting to kick off this many times tonight. I know Fournette.
Everybody really wondering who's missing. Were they ready to step up into SEC play?
They're not stepping up. They're stomping up.
The dude throwing it.
Traven Durrell with the backing Jennings right on the same page with his receivers.
And again, remember, 3 games, they've been 70% run, 30% pass. They haven't had to throw the football very much. But Mississippi State has forced them to throw the football more than they're comfortable with in this ball game.
Hilliard and Williams now in the backfield, and that's Williams coming down to the bottom of your screen on 3rd down and 8. And the ball is loose, and Jennings is going to be dropped by Preston Smith for the 2nd time tonight.
Again, too many 3rd downs. It was a low, hard snap from Elliott Porter. That's a hard one to handle. The quarterback's trying to read the coverage. Knows pressure's coming.
Big old Preston Smith out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, threw a double team and still did that.
And that's why Elliott Porter had a bad snap, because they lined up the best pass rusher right over his nose, and he was more concerned with Preston Smith than he was with getting the snap back.
One of our impact players, and he's made an impact defensively tonight. And now the punt. Chases Graham. This time he just lets it go wisely as it goes all the way to the end zone. 7:16 remaining in the third. Don't forget, got to get up tomorrow morning. Get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN. Presented by Snickers. It's NFL Countdown. Boomer and the gang provide all the latest news and updates from around the NFL right up until kick. And just before you set your lineup, catch fantasy football now at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. The experts provide all the latest injury reports and predict the top fantasy performers for you. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, Dave Kataya, our ESPN crew, a stunned crowd, record crowd at Tiger Stadium right now, watching their beloved Tigers, ranked 8th in the country, getting pushed around by Mississippi State. Here's Robinson, short gain.
You know, a lot of time left in this football game, but if Mississippi State is able to hang on and win this football game, how important would that be? They've got an off week next week, then home games against Texas A&M and Auburn next, both highly ranked teams in the SEC West. What a huge confidence game this would be leading into that part of their schedule.
Prescott dumps one to Robinson, and he does what he can to get it out around the 28-yard line. Well, they're not going to spot him quite that well, I guess, about the 26. Right now, there's only 21 and a half minutes for LSU to do something about this, and they could use a stop on third down right here to get the ball back. Empty set for Prescott.
And this is where you have to be alert to him as a runner. I mean, you can't just assume it's pass and can only play man-to-man.
Blitz coming off the corner. Prescott, a wobbly pass, broken up, incomplete, intended for Robert Johnson.
Good play.
Ronald Martin, one of the captains of the defense from his safety spot, made the play.
Martin was there. DJ Welter was there also. And a big third down stop for LSU.
So Bell has had a busy leg as a kickoff man and a punter. Tre'Davious White hoping for a chance at one here. We get a little closer to the punter. High kick, shorter. White with a fair catch and makes it around the 35-yard line. Talked about Dan Mullen in his 6th year. He says, I'm the 5th. I've been around the 5th longest anybody in the SEC. We really know that. 3rd most wins in Mississippi State history. Jackie Sherrill has the most. 4-1 in the Egg Bowl. That always makes you pretty popular in the state. They've done a good job going to bowl games. A school record 4 straight bowl appearances. They won 3 of them. But the disappointment is against top 25 teams. 2-22. That is only about 21 minutes away from changing if they can hang on to this 3-touchdown lead. Straight up the middle is Williams, the freshman. Another one of those 230-pound running backs that LSU has.
One of the most productive runs or plays that they've had on first down this entire game. It's just a 4- or 5-yard run, but they just have not had much success running the football on first down until that play.
There's what they have done. That has been tough sledding against the Mississippi State defense. Jennings has it batted at the line. I think it was Tolando Cleveland maybe that came up there and got a hand in the way.
They just can't emphasize enough how well this Mississippi State defense has played. Jeff Collins, the coordinator, another zone pressure, bringing Cleveland off the edge. He gets a hand on the football, and again, another third down situation where they've been able to create consistent pressure on Anthony Jennings.
LSU's only converted twice on third down tonight. Jennings in trouble. Throws off his back foot. He's got a man open, and he got him.
Was his foot out?
Travis Dixon, and he was out.
Yeah, he caught the ball, but he didn't know where he was on the sideline. He didn't get his feet down, and that's just a lack of awareness of where the sideline is. He could have gotten a foot down, I think, had he just known where he was.
I don't know if I can blame him. It was almost like a pop fly. He could have fair caught that one. Yeah. And he comes out of bounds. So what could have been a big play and a big first down instead is the 4th 3 and out for LSU. Keene knocks this one down inside the 15. Is it going to make the end zone? Yes, it did. With 5:16 remaining. Big lead for the Bulldogs, 31-10. They have spotted the football at the 1-yard line on that punt. I thought the ball was in the end zone. We're going to take another look at it.
Now the kicking team.
It is a reviewable play. It looked like White threw the ball back off the foot of his own man, and then the ball ended up in the end zone. And now a player can be in the end zone as long as the ball doesn't cross the plane. Well, or did he have? You know what? He had control and his knee was down before he threw the ball.
Dave Kati's up here with us. Dave is signaling.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think, Dave.
He caught it, his knees went down, and then he threw the ball, but it was already called down at that point.
You're absolutely right. He's got possession. He threw it back, and the key is he threw it. So he has to have possession to throw it.
Yeah.
He has possession of the field. That ball's dead where he has possession.
I wonder why he threw it.
Dave's our rules expert, by the way. If I just inadvertently just said Dave's with us. He's with us every week to look at plays exactly like this. And at that point, the ball is coming out, but maybe they got this one. That was a bang call. I thought the ball was in the end zone, but it's going to put Mississippi State in a huge hole here at about the 2-foot line. Hubert Owens is talking with Rocky Good and the guys up in the replay booth.
Remember, the call in the field was down at the 1-yard line.
Right.
So there's got to be clear evidence to overturn that call.
And Dan Mullen saying, "Are you sure you had possession?" Hubert Owens is going to have the call for us right here.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
So this is going to be the 3rd time Mississippi State had to start inside their own 5-yard line. Of course, they had a 98-yard touchdown out of one of those.
And the wording there, the fact that the ruling stands, is that it wasn't clear enough evidence to change it. If it would have been, they would have changed
confirmed.
it, or they would have said it was confirmed.
Right.
And that way, just wasn't clear to tell. Great effort by Tre'Davious White, nonetheless.
So Dak Prescott is going to find himself with his feet in his own end zone here. And that'll cause some noise down there from the LSU crowd for sure.
Well, the defense scored once. They've got more touchdowns than the offense. Can they do it again or create a turnover down here deep?
Again, there's the clap and the silent count, and the center will go when he's ready. Prescott wants to throw from his own end zone. Got to be careful you don't get a holding call here. And he only got about a yard on the rush up the middle. And a flag flies in. Quentin Thomas and DJ Welter made the tackle, but again a penalty marker down.
Well, it was late, so it's probably a personal foul one way or the other. I'm not sure who they
After
flagged.
the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense. Number 63, half the distance to goal. It'll be 2nd down.
Dylan Day in the mix again. We don't call a center's name as much as we have tonight usually.
Well, remember, he's gotten away with a couple extra effort plays, and that one he didn't get away with.
That's called playing through the whistle plus. He's one of the Louisiana natives playing here tonight and a captain of the offense. They didn't lose much on the penalty. Half the distance to nowhere is the 1-yard line. Prescott pump fakes one way. deep the other. Got a man out there and knocked away at the last moment by Jalen Collins.
Jalen Collins, just an instinctive reach. And when you're 6'2" as a cornerback, you've got a little bit more length against a receiver. Jalen Collins was beat. There was separation between him and the receiver, but being 6'2", he has the length to get an arm up there and knock the ball away at the last second.
Now it's 3rd down. And watch out, Mississippi State in this spot. Prescott straight up the middle. He's got a 1st down.
Wow.
That'll quiet the crowd.
This is quarterback run again all the way. It's power. They get a double team on the front side. They pull the backside guard. Nice kick out block by Malcolm Johnson, the tight end. And that's just power running.
And now they go quick and they flare it out of the backfield to Gabe Miles. And Miles picks up about 6. We're down to 4:22 remaining in the 3rd quarter. A big time upset in the making unless LSU can figure things out. Robinson, 1st down run.
Well, we haven't said too much about him, but he's had a heck of a night. You know, he's well over, had 111 yards at halftime, 119 now. Made the big play that stopped a touchdown for LSU. Again, one of those 3 Louisiana natives in that triangle of guys who are touching the football just about every play.
And Josh isn't small. He's just short. He's put together. 215-pounder with a big 1st down there at the 25-yard line. Rides in the other way, and then Prescott keeps it for a couple. And we're down to 3.5 minutes. Mississippi State's just keeping their foot on the gas here.
Yeah.
They have huddled very little, if at all, tonight. 7th play of this drive that started inside their own 1-yard line. Robinson going to try to lead the way for Prescott, and he got a pretty good block, and Dak got another 1st down run.
And look how Dak is protecting the football. Ever since that fumble earlier in the 3rd quarter, when they're calling his number to run, watch how he's protecting it with both arms when he knows contact is coming. He's patient as a runner, and at the last minute when he feels bodies coming his way, he is really protecting the football.
He's got 96 yards on 17 carries. And you were right a long time ago. He's doing his Tim Tebow impression to perfection so far. Right-handed instead of left. And here's Robinson, and he wraps both arms around the football and rumbles for about 11.
Well, you got to say something about this offensive line for Mississippi State, too, because they have done a great job all night. You've got Robinson and you've got Prescott that are doing a nice job of finding creases and finding holes, but 233 yards rushing for Mississippi State as a team.
Robinson again. He got loose, and he got about 8 yards, just pulling his feet out of the would-be tacklers. LSU coming in had allowed 111 yards a game on the ground, and more than twice that much already for the Bulldogs.
And you're starting to see some fatigue on this LSU defense. DJ Welter, the middle linebacker, just tapped his helmet, wanted to come out for a rest. They subbed a couple other guys. The running game and the power of Mississippi State is taking its toll on LSU's defense.
Now they go to Shumpert, another fresh back, and he's got a 1st down. And he's down inside the 40 of LSU. We've always talked about LSU's depth defensively. And John Chavis told us yesterday they have about as much as they've ever had. And they're going to need it now because you're right, they're getting tired. We're under 2 minutes. And not only that, Mississippi State is just continuing to march down the field. Prescott fires, got a man open. It's Wilson again. No, it's not Wilson. It's Jamie Lewis.
Well, when you run as well as they're running, you're going to open things up for your play-action game. Jamian Lewis finds a nice hole in between the defenders. And then Mississippi State is just doing what they want offensively. LSU's defense is fatigued, and Mississippi State is not playing conservatively by any stretch of the imagination.
Bulldogs in the red zone again. Prescott flares it out, complete. Miles, and Miles driving with help from his friends, and he might have a first down.
Look how tired LSU's defense looks. Just look at the body language of the guys in white compared to the guys in maroon right now.
They've been out there a long time. And we've got another LSU guy down.
I think if there wasn't a guy down, I think LSU needs to take a timeout to get some rest, maybe get some fresh people in, because they cannot afford to give up another touchdown here. They've got a whole quarter to play, but their offense is not built to play catch-up right now.
Jamarie Rasco, the defensive end, is a guy that is down right now. And with a quick break, let's check in the studio for an update.
All right, Brad, thank you. Clemson facing Florida State over on ABC. And Deshaun Watson here to Jordan Leggett. 12-yard completion from there. DJ Howard will punch it in. So it is 10-3 right now. We'll keep you posted. Brad, back to you.
Thank you, sir. We were talking about the Clemson-Florida State game for a football reason today. You and I and Holly and the rest of the guys on the way over here. Deshaun Watson might get in that game. If they win that game, it might be his show the rest of the way.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Cole Stout is got, he's a quality player as well, but that young Watson is he's gonna be special. And they're bringing him along the right way, but he's been productive when he's been in, and there's a good chance that before this thing is done this year for Clemson, he might be the guy.
Jamarie Rasco came out of the game a few plays ago with an arm injury, a right arm injury. Was kind of hanging down, dangling, that would suggest some kind of a shoulder or arm injury. They were just talking to him again. He was down on the field for a long time. He had run back in and tried to play a little bit. I'll keep my eye on it here on the sidelines.
All right, Holly, thanks. His defensive teammates at least got a little breather while he was down. They needed it. It's 1st and goal, Mississippi State, just inside the 7. Shumpert in the backfield with Prescott. And he gets the call on a cutback run to the 3, and still driving. See where they spot him. Either the 3 or 2 by the time the run is over. Remember, they started this drive, Mississippi State, at their own 2-foot line. This is the 14th play of the drive coming up. Talk about eating clock and eating and wearing down the LSU defense. Shumpert flags down, probably going to have a hold on the inside. He got it to the 1-yard line, but I think it's coming out of there.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's what Dan Mullen thought of the call. Justin Malone, the right guard.
Justin Malone is a guy who got injured in the opening game against Oklahoma State last year. Missed the rest of the year. Dan Mullen very happy to get him back in the mix. Very powerful guy. 330 pounds or so. Strong run blocker.
2nd down and goal, back now at the 12-yard line. And Prescott in an empty backfield. Let's see if he calls his own number. He will. Broke 1 tackle, but not the 2nd. Quan Alexander stood him up after a short gain, and they have a couple of words. As the 3rd quarter is about to come to a close. Had you told Dan Mullen at the end of 3 at Tiger Stadium in front of a record crowd he'd have a 3-touchdown lead, Dak Prescott's dad would have taken it. I think the head coach would have taken it as well. It's 31-10, 4th quarter coming up. I think the folks from Starkville that made the trip are happy at Tiger Stadium. 3-touchdown lead entering the 4th. And a lot of empty seats after a record crowd tonight. It's not over yet. But I tell you what, they scored another touchdown on this drive, and it's going to start to look that way for sure.
They got the matchup here with the big guy.
3rd down and goal at the 11. Prescott lofts one to the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Fred Ross.
Malcolm Johnson.
Malcolm Johnson, the tight end.
Good pressure by Quan Alexander. Forced Prescott to throw that ball maybe a little sooner than he wanted.
And even that play had the look of what Dan Mullen did with Tim Tebow at Florida. The little step in and then drop back.
Yeah, the similarities are uncanny to me. Not just the offense and not just Dan Mullen being the common denominator. The way they run, the power they run with, the throwing ability, and then the charisma, the presence, and the leadership.
So yes, the field goal is up and good from 28 yards, adding to the lead, 34-10. Don't forget, on Monday Night Football should be a good one. Geno Smith and the Jets hosting Jay Cutler and the Bears. 8:15 Monday night. Bears and Jets on ESPN, and watch ESPN.
West Virginia and Oklahoma tied up, I think, 24 all at half. Kind of a shootout. I think that's all West Virginia plays is shootouts, though.
Pretty much. Bully, it's about as excited as he gets. I don't think he knows that the score is 34-10 at this point. But Todd, that was a 92-yard drive, 5.5 minutes, 16 plays. That's how you go ahead and keep the pedal to the metal and demoralize a top 10 team. They haven't been able to do that in a long, long time. And we still have 14:49 for the Tigers to do something about it, but I'm not sure they've got it in them tonight.
Just the balance. You know, Mississippi State came into the game averaging 527 yards a game, and you thought, well, that's not going to be the same case against this LSU defense. But right now, 520 yards of offense and almost perfect balance. 252 yards rushing, 268 yards passing. It's been a textbook offensive performance for Mississippi State.
I would wager to say the SEC Player of the Week will be number 15, whether they win or lose this game. Dak Prescott's been sensational. Even better than advertised. Fournette from the 6. Fournette got a little crease. And across the 30, nice return. And we return to the studio with an update.
Brad, we've got a fun game going on the SEC Network. South Carolina and Vanderbilt. This is Darius Sims. A second kickoff return for a touchdown, 100 yards. Vandy didn't have a kickoff return longer than 38 yards entering this game. Special teams playing a big part right now. It's 24-21 South Carolina. Back to you.
I can hear the ball coach right now. Yeah, well, we're going to have to work on special team. And work on a kick return a little bit, coach. 14:43 to go here in this SEC matchup. Jennings lobs one too far in front of Quinn. Incomplete. And Quinn was open.
Yeah, he was open. And again, the inability to get productive big plays on first down is just really plagued LSU tonight. That was an opportunity. Good protection, open receiver, and Jennings just not able to make the connection.
You know, we mentioned coming in 70-30 balance between run and pass. That's great when you're churning out 250 yards a game or whatever on the ground. When you can't run, as they haven't been able to on first down tonight, and you have to pass, this is a whole different animal right now for LSU trying to make this comeback.
And when you're down 24 points, you just can't have the kind of balance that you want to have, because Mississippi State would be thrilled if LSU wants to run the football here in the fourth quarter.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense, number 9. That penalty is refused. Third down.
Well, if it's number 9, it had to be because of the formation, that he was not an eligible receiver based on his alignment.
How he was covered up or not. John Diarse, if that was a call, it's declined at any rate and brings up a third down and 10 again. Third down has been too long, too many times for the Tigers tonight. And Anthony Jennings has missed his last 5 passes. He needs one for 10 yards and a couple of inches here. Completes it. And he got about 9 of those yards to Terrence McGee.
And that's again, when you got a 250-pound middle linebacker, when he hits you in space, you're not going to go forward for the first down. I mean, McKinney hit him, and McGee immediately went backwards. If that's a defensive back hitting McGee, McGee's probably going to fight through that for a first down, but not when it's a 250-pound middle linebacker.
LSU's going for it here. They brought in about 7 extra tight ends on 4th down at a yard. They know they're only get the hands on the football so many more times. Trailing by 24. Here they come on 4th and 1, and they got it. Not by much, but a 2-yard gain by Kenny Hilliard, and that'll keep the drive going. This will really shake up the rankings as LSU has risen to number 8 coming into this. Mississippi State was, I think, the number 2 team in the category of the most receiving votes without being in the top 25. They're gonna blast their way into the top 20 if they hold on for the next 13 minutes. Long ball. Oh, what a beautiful toss. And Durrell on his fingertips has got it 1st and goal.
Well, he's been quiet for the most part all night. Coming into the game, averaging 31 yards per catch. And this is what he does, make big plays down the field, but a perfect throw that time by Anthony Jennings. And on 1st down, maybe their most productive 1st down play of the ball game.
And they get it all the way down to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal there. They've got all the beef in front of the I backfield with Kenny Hilliard the tail. That's Diarse, the wideout in motion. And it's Hilliard, the 2nd man through, and he's very close to the goal line. And now LSU, I'm sure, is going to just get up to the line. Every second they can spare, they better use it. 2nd and goal at the 1.
Same play.
Hilliard, same play. Touchdown. 1 yard.
John Diarse is a wide receiver, but he's 215 pounds, number 9. They bring him in there as an extra blocker, and he kind of leads the way, along with the fullback Connor Neighbors, for Kenny Hilliard to score. We're going for 2 here. Down 24, they're 3 scores down. If they scored and went for 2 all 3 times and converted, that's not an easy task. Yeah. But you probably only have maybe at the most two-point plays in your arsenal anyway.
This one's Jennings rolling to throw. Now he's going to keep it. He's not going to get there. And guess who? Bernardrick McKinney with the hat on the quarterback. The big middle linebacker prevents a 2-point conversion, and with 12.5 to go, Mississippi State 34-16. Celebrating its 10th year, sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship fund for each field goal and extra point kicked. Since 2005, Allstate's contributed more than $3.4 million in scholarship funds. Well, LSU added 6, failed on the 2-point conversion. They trail by 18. I think it's a little early for an onside kick, but yeah, it is Les Miles.
I do too, and especially when you've had trouble stopping Mississippi State's offense. I think you got to try to hope you get a stop back in their end of the field.
Demang to kick. Brandon Holloway will take a knee, and we'll head back to the studio.
All right, Brad, an update right now on what is happening. An exciting game between Oklahoma and West Virginia. 1st and goal, and it's Brad Samaje Ira. He'll take that in from 1st and goal. 31-24 right now for the Sooners early in the 3rd. Back to you.
Man, if you were watching that game, you didn't know who was playing. You wouldn't know who was playing.
Yeah. I thought it was Indiana when I first saw it, and I said, well, they already played today. They beat Missouri.
Changing up the unis a little bit. Mississippi State in its traditional maroon here. Likewise, LSU, one of the few teams that wears whites at home, but they're in a hole right now. 34-16. Here's Josh Robinson going for another big run. He's still rolling down to the 45-yard line.
You know, John Hevesy, their offensive coordinator and run coordinator, said when he told us about Josh Robinson, he says, you know, he's hard to tackle. He's built low to the ground. He's powerful. He's kind of like tackling a bowling ball a little bit. And you just see guys bouncing off of him. I mean, he keeps running forward. There's big John Hevesy, offensive line coach.
Career high for Josh Robinson with those big legs on that short frame. 158 yards on the ground right now.
And how about those three guys from Louisiana, Dylan Day, the center, Josh Robinson, and Dak Prescott, all having outstanding nights tonight.
And you mentioned, got to give credit, and we should give credit by name. Clausell, Beckwith, Day, Malone, and Senior, the front wall. The linemen, the big eaters up there, and man, they are chewing up some Tiger tonight. .274 yards on the ground for Mississippi State. And coming in, that's more yardage than LSU had given up in total yardage in their first 3 games to any opponent. By far. 2nd down and 8. We're down to 11-10 remaining. Quick throw, play action out in the flats. And holding on out there is Dwayne Thomas to bring down Gabe Miles.
Well, I haven't seen Kenny Hill play for Texas A&M yet. I've seen highlights, but I haven't seen him in person, haven't studied him on film. And I know he's off to a great start, and I think the Aggies won huge again today. But I think this guy right here is the best quarterback in the SEC. I just think his ability as a runner and a thrower and the constant threat that he poses to the defense, I just think he's the best that there is in the league. The league graduated some great players last year, and I think he's the best that's here right now.
He's a yard away from being over 100 on the ground. He's going to keep it to his tailback and keep feeding Josh Robinson, who's out for 5 more. Going to be down under 10 minutes on the next snap against LSU. Look at the name above him. And again, he's 1 carry away from going over 100 again. Had 103 last year. And remember, he didn't play the whole game last year. Tyler Russell was in the game as well. So Dak went 9 out of 20 for 106 yards passing, and then 12 carries for 103 yards and a touchdown rushing. And tonight he's done it with his arm and his legs. Even though they come up short on 4th down and 3, they use some more clock there. LSU will get it back. Davies White's going to have to take the fair catch call inside the 10, right around the 9-yard line. 9:34 remaining. LSU in a big hole. Can they dig their way out of it? We'll find out when we come back.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. Feel the Hamptonality. And in part by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Back in Baton Rouge, 34-16 on the last day of summer, and it looks like it's going to be a big fall for the number 8 team in the country, unless they can figure something out in the last 9.5 minutes. Working inside their own 10, LSU. They haven't had any big chunk plays. Biggest play they had tonight was a halfback option pass by McGee for 44 yards.
And then they had the long pass in the last drive. That was about it.
Fournette dragged down the line of scrimmage. Richie Brown, backup inside linebacker, made the play.
Mississippi State just trying to contain the quarterback. Nice read, quick read by Richie Brown. Takes a good angle to the football.
They got a bunch of second-line guys in there right now for Mississippi State getting some playing time. And I don't think they thought they'd be afforded that luxury tonight against LSU at home. Jennings. Oh, that one should have been caught too. Yeah. John Diarse, I'm not quite sure if he didn't see it coming. Just hit one hand.
That looked a little bit like alligator arms to me.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if he thought he was too close to the sideline or what, but
guys, I was standing right here, and as the ball was coming in, one of the defensive backs from Mississippi State came running and yelling like a crazy person. It actually was pretty startling. It scared me. I don't know if TRX was scared or not, but that was good defense by yelling. He
looks scared of it. He's asking for another opportunity. I don't know if he'll get one or not. 3rd down and 9. Look out. Jennings goes down at the 1. Delando Cleveland came flying in on a blitz from the corner, and Jennings is shaken up.
Jennings didn't know it was coming. I mean, he's got to know that is coming. He glanced over there, and Cleveland didn't show his hand. And when he looked away, that's when Cleveland came on the blitz.
Remember, he was favoring his shoulder earlier when he got hit, and he lands on the same shoulder in the end zone, actually at the 1. Now they're going to put it at the 2, but it could have easily been spotted farther back. So the punt coming up. It's the 5th 3 and out for LSU. And their punter Keene's got his heels right on the back line. Nice kick. Graham's got a backpedal all the way to his own 41. But he's got a chance of a return and gets it back into LSU territory. With 7:55 remaining. Upset in the making in Baton Rouge.
Coming up next, Marcus Mariota and Oregon have won 7 straight against Washington State while averaging 52 points per game. If the game you're watching isn't over yet, Oregon will start on ESPN News. Just about 20 minutes until kickoff. Brad, back to you.
All right, and straight to Todd.
Well, we talked about Dak Prescott being like Tim Tebow. Just watch a couple of these plays. Tebow, when he was at Florida, running the same kind of offense. Dan Mullen was the quarterback coach. Now he's the head coach at Mississippi State. Here's the play action. Obviously, the difference being that one is left-handed and Tebow, one is right-handed, but very similar styles on and off the field. The leadership, the charisma, the presence, that's the other thing that stands out to me in that comparison between a pair of number 15s.
And Tim, of course, part of the SEC Nation show on SEC Network. Great game day-like program on the SEC Network. Was in Tuscaloosa today to watch his Gators lose to Alabama. Josh Robinson has been something tonight. 22 more yards.
Outstanding effort. Just hard to tackle. You know, again, we've got a fatigued defense, so that's why you see some missed tackles. But you can't say enough about the blocking schemes and the effort by the Mississippi State offensive line, the tight ends, the receivers downfield. A dominant run game by Mississippi State tonight.
Every time Josh touches it, he just adds to a new career high. He's rolled for 185 yards on the ground. When's the last time LSU gave somebody 185 yards on the ground? Well, you can make it 195. Or very close to it. We'll say 194. Again, Franklinton, Louisiana for Josh Robinson.
311 yards rushing for Mississippi State.
Man. 194 on 15. That's pretty strong average.
Yeah. Well, Mississippi State working clock now as well. And they have just been in control from the opening possession. They've been in control of this football game.
This kid's not tired yet. First down run by Robinson. Give him 3 more. Well, if he gets 200, I'd maybe get him out of there and let him breathe a little bit. How about 164 up the gut, Todd?
Yeah, well, a lot of that, too, is that's where Dak Prescott has run the football when he's decided to run it. Some by design, some by scramble.
Had an injured LSU player down, Quentin Thomas, one of the defensive tackles. Well, there's 2 guys down, as a matter of fact.
You know, I thought it was interesting. One of the things that Dan Mullen told us last night when we visited with him at their hotel is that he likes the leadership of this team. And he said that they had, when they voted for captains, they had 23 different players receive at least 1 vote for captain.
Yeah.
That speaks to a mature football team, a team that's had some guys that have been through some battles and good leadership qualities. And I think you see that when you come on the road to a place like this and you play from start to finish, a game where you control the action, That speaks to a pretty mature football team.
He also told us he says, not a tense group. They're loose in a good way.
Yeah.
They played loose tonight, and they're still playing loose with 6.5 to go.
Again, they have a week off next week, and then home games, back-to-back home games with Texas A&M and Auburn.
That'll test them 2 more times.
Yeah. And who knows? They could be a real player. Everybody's talking about Ole Miss being a real player in the SEC West, right now ranked number 10. And Mississippi State says, hey, wait a minute, don't forget about us either.
Holly, who got knocked around down there?
Well, Quentin Thomas has just come off the field. They're looking at his left arm. It looks like possibly a stinger. They were trying to give him some of those hand tests to see how much strength he had in his hand. And then Christian Lockacher, they were examining his left knee, but he was able to just stand up and walk off the field on his own. Also want to point out Jalen Collins has been out with a lower back injury. And Anthony Jennings, they have been looking at that left shoulder. A lot of dings right now for LSU.
Nick Griffin in the tailback spot now with Dak Prescott, and maybe Josh Robinson's night is done. Right around the 200-yard mark or close to it. 197.
Mississippi State milking clock. You know, they're not doing it in a huddle at their line of scrimmage, but Dak Prescott is going to let that play clock go down as much as he can.
And then probably run it himself. No, he'll hand it off to Griffin. And Griffin gets down to the 5.
Here's the only reason I don't know that I would have Dak Prescott run it too much more in this game is save a few hits on his body.
Yeah,
because for them to do what they want to do in the SEC West, he's going to have to carry a big part of the load. And at this point in the ball game, you don't need him to take any more hits.
And like I said, you'll have to look elsewhere around the league as to who had big games. I know Blake Sims did. Amari Cooper did. There's a better guy and better performance tonight as the SEC Player of the Week. I would think it'd be that guy right there. And again, Griffin on the inside got back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all. We'll be under 5 minutes here in a second. Boy, a record crowd here tonight that never got a chance to get in it at all. And there's a whole bunch of fans disguised as empty seats right now.
There was only one time, and that was after the Prescott fumble that was recovered and returned for a touchdown. This place got loud, and Dak Prescott responded by taking the team for a touchdown, and that was it.
Yep.
It was a 3rd and 3 play. He ran 56 yards for a touchdown, and the crowd was never a factor again.
Remember, at night, at home, LSU virtually unstoppable. Tonight, not the case. They unpile the bodies. Let's see where they're going to spot this.
And what is it about our broadcast crew?
I don't know.
With unranked teams playing highly ranked teams.
We had Virginia Tech
3 in a row.
stomp on Ohio State. We had Boston College rough up USC, and now we got Mississippi State blowing out LSU in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Every coach in the country doesn't want to see the three of us.
And if you're a team that's in that situation, and if your color scheme has maroon in it, you want us.
That's right.
Because they're all 3 of the same.
I forgot about the maroon thing. Griffin's going to be dropped for a loss. Lewis Neal made first contact.
See, Dan Mullen doesn't need another touchdown here. He needs the clock to run, and he needs to save a couple hits on his quarterback. So he's very content to try, you know, to just do that. They didn't need another score. They needed the clock to run.
They ran 4 minutes off the clock that time. Remember, that was what we talked about 3.5 hours ago. 2-21 against top 25 teams. That was the wrap on Dan Mullen. That wrap's about to go away in 3 minutes and 43 seconds. We've been talking about 14 straight wins for LSU in this series. So you say, when's the last time they beat them? Well, Jackie Sherrill, the head coach, in '99. Mississippi State's Terrell Grindle blocked a punt for a safety. Justin Griffith had a 1-yard touchdown. Rod Gibson had a 1-yard touchdown. They went on to win it by a point, 17-16. They finished 10-2, went on and won the Peach Bowl that season. And after 14 straight and 21 of the last 22 in a series that's 108 games old, this is going to feel pretty good heading back to Starkville. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Dan Mullen just caught my eye, and he was smiling, and I said, wow, how about this? And he just pointed to his watch. 3:43 left. He thinks there's still a lot of time to go. He also reminded me of a story about his dad called him in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs in the Yankees-Red Sox series a few years ago, and you guys know what happened in that game. So he doesn't want any early celebration. Too much time left.
Well, they're down to 3:25.
Get a late look at Brandon Harris now at quarterback for LSU. Brandon Harris is a talented guy, part of that freshman class. Really can really throw the football.
And he shows right there as he got it out to Trey Quinn. Threw that one on a line. 20-yard pickup. You know, the first quarter was key. You talked about it, Todd, earlier. Mississippi State had a 7-0 lead. Then LSU got down 1st and goal at the 2, remember? They were stopped. The goal line stand. They lost the ball on downs. And then 98 yards later, it was 14-0.
Yep.
And that set the tone for one of the bigger upsets in college football so far this year. Williams carrying tacklers out to the 44-yard line.
The thing you got to keep in mind about LSU is a lot of their skill guys are young now. You've got Fournette, and now we're taking a look at Darrell Williams. We're seeing Brandon Harris, a freshman. Anthony Jennings is just a sophomore. They're wide receivers, a lot of youth. Still a very talented football team, but Mississippi State just took control early and never let go.
Williams winds and goes high on that one, intended for John DeArce.
Guys, Anthony Jennings had that left shoulder examined by medical personnel when he came off the sideline. He was pretty upset right when he first came off, but since then he has spent some time talking to his wide receivers, talking over things that went wrong. He does not appear to be in a lot of pain, but they will evaluate him going forward.
All right, Holly, thanks. Meanwhile, Harris in there, the freshman. 6'3", kind of slightly built right now, but he's still a youngster, but he's got a wicked right arm, as Todd said. He was a crossing route to Williams. Williams has a first down, heading to the far side with a stiff arm and got to the 30-yard line. So a 25-yard pickup on the run and catch for Williams. Jennings, you see on the sideline, towel around his neck. There's his night over with. 50% on his passes for only 157 yards. He came in averaging just under 21 yards per completion, which was one of the higher completion per yard or per pass in the country, but not tonight. Harris going long, got a man, touchdown, Malachi Dupree. .31-yard touchdown.
Well, a nice read and a nice throw by Brandon Harris, but Jamerson Love just kind of got caught flat-footed there. He was in coverage. He was actually in position and just was kind of slow coming out of his break and making a play on the ball, and the ball went over his head for a touchdown.
Well, they're going to go for 2 and try to make it an 11-point game, which would be a touchdown, 2-point conversion and field goal.
Timeout, Mississippi State.
Again, that's doing a lot of math.
Their
but
first time out of the half.
Here's another look at the touchdown.
And good read by Harris, sees the single coverage, and Jamerson Love late getting out of his break, and just one of the few times we've seen something go over the head of this Mississippi State defense. They've done a great job all night of keeping everything in front, but there's a look at the future also for LSU. Brandon Harris throwing to Malachi Dupree, 2 members of this highly touted freshman class, along with Leonard Fournette,
With
Darrell Williams.
17 have played already this year, 17 true freshmen. Dupree out of River Ridge, Louisiana. He's a big receiver, 6'3", 187 pounds. That was his second touchdown catch of the season so far. Caught one against Sam Houston State. And the 2-point conversion coming up. 1:55 left. If they get this, theoretically, it's a 2-score game. Harris, did he get there? The ball came out. One of his linemen covered it. We don't have any word yet. The linesman's going to come down and say he was down, I think. And so they come up short, just a little bit short. See about his, puts his hand down. All right, knees down, stretches down, ball comes out. And it remains 34-22. Don't forget, we switch things over to baseball for you tomorrow night. National League Central leading Cardinals host the Reds. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Cards and Reds tomorrow night, 8 Eastern on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN. Did Scott Johnson, our illustrious director and Cincinnati Red fan, just say, ugh? Is that what he just said in the truck? Did you get that?
I didn't catch it. He makes funny noises anyway.
He does. He does. Yeah. He's pretty proud of his Bengals right now, though. So. Rough night for Anthony Jennings. He got knocked around pretty good, too, at times.
Well, and really, the difference between these two offenses tonight was one very clear difference. Mississippi State was able to run the football and then mix in play-action passing, and they had balance in their offense. And LSU did not. LSU was never able to really get their run game going, so their play-action pass game was not a factor, and they did not have balance. And anytime you can be two-dimensional as an offense, you have an edge, and no matter how good the defense is. Mississippi State was two-dimensional. LSU was not.
So the onside kick is coming up from Delahousie. Just a matter of which way it's going, or if he tries to maybe dribble it down and recover it himself. He's got it lined up as if he's going to the left side. That's where he's got the majority of his help. And that's where it's going. But it goes out of bounds. Didn't touch anybody. And flags fly in as it's out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Let's head back to Adnan in the studio again.
All right, Brad, over on ABC, Florida State hosting Clemson. Sean McGuire to Nick O'Leary. Taking this ball down to the 1. And then Mario Pender will punch it in. Seminoles at this point had minus 22 yards rushing. Of course, most of those due to the sacks, but it's 10-all right now, midway through the third over on ABC. And coming up next, they'll be starting at ESPN News. Connor Howdy, the nation's leading passer, already more than 1,400 yards. See what he can do against Oregon. Once again, that'll start at ESPN News, then go over to ESPN once your game goes sponsored. Brad?
All right, thank you. So McGuire to O'Leary, those guys are roommates. That's what you used to do, just hand it off to Kurt Warner, right?
That's right.
It always worked for you. And Shumpert doesn't get much. Daniil Hunter, who had one of the big defensive plays of the night, in on the tackle.
Timeout. LSU.
LSU takes one of its timeouts. Tomorrow morning, get things going with NFL Countdown presented by Snickers. At 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, Chris Berman and all the rest of the guys provide the latest news and updates from around the NFL right up till kickoff. And then over on ESPN2, before you set your lineup, that's what all my friends do. They catch fantasy football now at 11 o'clock. They give you all the latest injury reports and predict the top fantasy performers. Both shows also available on Watch ESPN. I think if you'd have told Dan Mullen it was going to be 34-22, he would think this was fantasy football tonight. Building a program over a 6-year span that's been getting a little bit better every year. 7-6 last year. Of course, they went 3-5 in conference play. But this year, another game of over 500 yards of total offense against what was, the third stingiest defense in the country. And LSU's got the ball here. Well, this baby isn't over yet. That is the last thing Mississippi State needed.
Backup center in the game. Dylan Day's out. That's Archie Munoz snapping way over the head. And a costly turnover.
That wasn't even close.
Nope.
LSU at the 30-yard line with 1:42 and 2 timeouts. Quick strike here, and we're going to have a little different ending maybe to this game. Harris on the run, trying to throw at an insurmountable lead. You don't want your quarterback taking any more shots than he has to. We didn't think they'd see their starting tailback, but that all changed here in the last half minute.
Yeah, this lead is not insurmountable anymore. So the two guys that have handled it the most and the most successfully for you all night are Dak Prescott and Josh Robinson, and that's who's going to handle it here.
Dak Prescott on the night has been impressive in about every conceivable way. Throwing out in the corner for a touchdown. On the ground, had a huge one right up the middle and outran everybody. So 268-yard night passing the football, and 100 right now on 20 carries and a touchdown on the ground. He'll keep this one again for 2 more yards, and that'll be LSU's final timeout upcoming right now with 1:14 remaining.
Timeout. LSU. It's their third and final timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout. 3rd down and 7. Todd, do you let him throw one? You know, you get a first down, the game's over. If you don't, you got to give it back to him at some point.
Well, I think I'd run the football. I really do. I think I'd run the football. LSU can't stop the clock again. You let that clock go down as far as you can, and then you use your timeout to avoid a penalty. Punt it deep and see if your defense can come up with one more stop. Because the thing you don't want to do is throw the football here and throw incomplete and stop the clock for LSU. That's the worst thing that could happen to you.
They crank up the music and the noise. 3rd down and 7. Prescott straight up the middle. Got about 4 of it, and it's 4th down. Now they have to bleed the clock as much as possible. So 4th down and 4. They can get it down to about 27 seconds, maybe somewhere in there. 28.
Well, and you don't even mind taking a penalty here, quite frankly.
Right.
You know, I mean, you could let it bleed all the way out.
Those fans holding out hope. Dan Mullen with the side judge right there with him. Timeout with 1 second. So 27 indeed.
Timeout. Mississippi State. It's their 2nd timeout of the half. This will be a 30.
As fast as you can.
LSU's been somewhat close on a couple times here.
They have used a couple of different kinds of punts tonight. Bell has one just kicking it straight away and one doing that little kind of move to the right and then kick it like a rugby player.
I wouldn't do that here because as soon as he starts to move like that, he loses a little bit of his protection from an official's call standpoint.
LSU's got everybody up. All 11 are coming. And he did get it out of there in a hurry. And it's going to make it to the end zone.
That's all he had to do.
20 seconds to play with for LSU. Trust me, 20 minutes ago, I didn't think we were going to come down to the last 20 seconds, and there was still a glimmer of hope for the Tigers. Well, in the 4th quarter since 2005, and 4th quarter comebacks, they're better than anybody, but they're 80 yards away right now with 20 seconds and no timeouts.
The reason that goes back to 2005, that was Les Miles' first year here at LSU. The only one of those teams with a winning record in that situation. I would expect maybe some kind of a trick play
maybe
here.
A hook and ladder,
hook and ladder, something to try to get a big chunk of yardage. Mississippi State in a deep prevent look. 3 deep safeties.
3 receivers to the top for Harris. 2 down to the left. He's going right. He fires, and he threw a strike out there to Durrell. 21 yards.
Boy, you see the arm strength of this young freshman. Left hash mark, throwing deep to the right sideline on a rope.
If he could get one more of those, he'd give himself a shot at a final pass to the end zone. Got it out to the 42-yard line. 14 seconds left. Harris again steps up. I don't know about this.
If he goes down, the clock will stop while they reset the chains.
7 seconds.
He's got time to spike it here with first down. He's got to spike the football right away or run the play. He's only going to have one more play if he doesn't.
There's the spike. 5 seconds left, and they're 46 yards away. We know he's got the arm. It's a matter of the timing, having enough protection to throw it to the end zone, and then hoping for a miracle.
Well, one thing I do if I'm LSU, and every one of these plays, Mississippi State has only rushed 3, but I would put 2 guys assigned to Preston Smith. I'd want to give my guy a chance to throw this ball to the end zone.
There's 3 Mississippi State defenders from the 6-yard line to the goal line on the final play of the ball game, barring a defensive penalty. Bringing it Harris. Backpedals near his own 45. Got to get rid of it. The Hail Mary downfield, and it's intercepted at the 1-yard line. Ball game. Mississippi State in an upset. Will Redmond ends the game with an interception on the final play. So number 8 goes down to unranked Mississippi State in a thriller in Baton Rouge. 34-29 the final. For Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe and our entire ESPN crew, Brad Nessler saying so long. We're going out to Pullman, Washington. Mark Jones and Rod Gilmore on the call, Oregon, Washington State. Josie.